All right, class, welcome. I'm Professor Piggy, and today we're going to build a digital fortress. Our mission is to absolutely master the security controls you'll need for your Security Plus exam. Why? So we can protect our precious data from all sorts of threats, especially that cunning wolf I hear lurking about.
Here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with proactive controls. These are the ones that stop attacks before they even get started. Then we'll jump into reactive controls for when something actually happens. After that, we'll look at procedural controls that guide how we should act. We'll even tackle some of those tricky exam scenarios where controls seem to overlap, and then we'll wrap it all up with a big final recap. Okay, let's dive right in.
So, this really is the big question, isn't it? How do we build our defenses? How do we make our walls so high and our gates so strong that even the most determined attacker can't get through? I think I hear some grumbling. No fortress can stop me. Well, don't you listen to him. With the right controls, we absolutely can.
Okay, our very first line of defense is the preventive control. You should think of these as the high, strong stone walls of our fortress. Their entire purpose, their main goal, is to stop a security incident from happening in the first place.
Now, I need you to pay very close attention to this next part. This is the exact word-for-word definition you need for the exam. Ready? Preventive controls attempt to stop security incidents before they occur. Memorize that. It's the core concept.
So what do these walls actually look like in the digital world? Well, think about hardening systems to get rid of any weak spots, or security guards physically blocking someone from walking in. An intrusion prevention system, or IPS, is a perfect example. It actively stops malicious traffic. And here's one that trips people up. Training. User training is a preventive control, because a well-educated user is much less likely to fall for a trick. Hardened systems, trained users, sounds like someone's job is getting a little more difficult.
All right, next up, deterrent controls. Now, if preventative controls are the strong walls, deterrents are the big, scary warning signs we put on them. Their goal isn't necessarily to physically stop the wolf, but to make him look at our fortress, shake his head, and decide, you know what, this just isn't worth the trouble. And you know what's coming? Here is the key exam definition. Write this down. Deterrent controls discourage a threat actor from attempting an attack. The key word here is discourage. It's all about playing mind games with the attacker.
You see these all the time in the real world, like signs warning about video cameras. In the digital world, a login banner that warns against unauthorized access does the same thing. The goal is to make the attacker think twice. Of course, some people are very confident. Signs? As if a little warning has ever stopped a truly determined wolf.
But what if the wolf is sneaky? What if he ignores our warnings and finds a way past our walls? That's where detective controls come into play. These are like the hidden tripwires and silent alarms inside our fortress. They won't stop the intruder, but their goal is to let us know that something has happened.
The official definition makes the timing here crystal clear. Detective controls identify incidents after they have occurred. The most important word in that sentence for your exam is after. They don't prevent, they identify. So these controls are all about finding the evidence, right? We're talking about monitoring system logs for suspicious activity, using a SIEM, that's a security information and event management system, to connect the dots, or performing security audits. A classic example is an intrusion detection system, or IDS, which alerts you to bad traffic that's already on your network. The alarm is blaring. The wolf got in and broke something. So what do we do now? We deploy our corrective controls. This is our fortress's emergency repair crew. Their one and only goal is to fix the damage and get everything back to normal fast. And for your notes, here's the exam definition you need to have down cold. Corrective controls restore systems after an incident. The key action word here is restore. These controls are all about reversing the impact of an attack. So, what are the most powerful corrective controls? Well, restoring from a clean backup is a huge one. It can completely undo whatever damage was done. Another is executing your formal incident handling plan to contain the threat and recover. These actions make all that hard work the wolf put in, well, temporary.
Now, for a really interesting one, what happens if our main, primary control just isn't an option for some reason? Let's say the drawbridge to our fortress is broken. A compensating control is like using a secret but equally secure side door instead. It's a solid alternative that still gets the job done securely.
For the exam, you've got to remember this phrase exactly. Compensating controls are alternative controls used when a primary control is not possible. Now, a really important point here. This does not mean it's a weaker control. It's just a different plan B to achieve the same security goal.
Let me give you a perfect real-world example. Let's say your company policy requires smart cards for everyone to log in, but you have a new employee starting today, and their card hasn't arrived yet. Instead of just giving them a simple password, you set them up with a time-based one-time password, or TOTP. That's a strong compensating control until their primary control, the smart card, is ready to go.
And finally, we have our directive controls. Now, these aren't fancy technical gadgets or physical gates. This is the Fortress Rulebook. It's the official blueprint that tells every single person, from the guards to the citizens, exactly how they are expected to act to keep the fortress secure.
The exam definition for this one is nice and straightforward. Directive controls provide instructions on how people should act. It's all about the documented policies, standards, and procedures we put in place.
So this includes your high-level security policies, detailed step-by-step procedures, and specific standards for how to configure systems. Now, a key example for the exam is the change management process. That's a directive control because it provides very explicit instructions on the proper, secure way to make any changes to a system.
Okay, class, let's talk about something that trips a lot of people up on the exam. So listen closely. A single control can actually fit into multiple categories. It all depends on its goal in a specific situation. Take a security guard. Their primary goal might be to physically block someone from entering. That makes them a preventive control. But just by being visible, they also serve the goal of discouraging someone from even trying, and that makes them a deterrent control.
It is the exact same logic for something like video surveillance. When you're reviewing the footage after a break-in to figure out what happened, its goal is identification, making it a detective control. But a big, visible camera pointed right at the front door, its goal is to discourage a thief from trying in the first place, making it a deterrent. So, for the exam, you must always ask yourself, what is the primary goal of this control in this specific scenario?
And here we have it all in one place. This is your ultimate study guide. Let's run through those key actions one more time. Preventative controls, block. Deterrent controls, warn. Detective controls, alert. Corrective controls, fix. Compensating controls, substitute. And directive controls, guide. If you can master this table, the foundation of your fortress will be rock solid. So, I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. You now have the blueprint, you have the tools. Which of these control types do you believe is the most critical to put in place first, and why? Give it some thought, because your digital fortress depends on it. Bah, too many controls. I need to go rethink my plans. Well, it sounds like our lesson is already working. Class dismissed.